Today we're going to build upon the basic cell shading tutorial, which I will link up around here somewhere or wherever I figure it out, and talk about cell shading and mood and how we can use it to create mood in our scene. Now, like before, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty about Photoshop layers and all that kind of stuff. Just to let you know, I do use Photoshop for all of my coloring, but these are just general ideas you can use in any program, whether it be the GIMP or Photoshop or Painter or whatever it is that you use for your coloring. So let's get into it. So last week we colored in, we worked with the line art for this girl wearing a monster hat, and I decided that I'm gonna call her Millie because I feel like that's a cute name. Alright, so this is sort of what we call your basic cell shading idea. The light is coming from a top-down direction, and it's not terribly exciting. This is sort of your basic everyday cell shading. If you're not really concentrating on creating a mood or anything dynamic, this is a good way to start. This type of cell shading depends completely on the facial expression of your character to communicate mood. So from this we can tell that Millie's just kind of in a neutral face, well, a neutral smiling face. Nothing particularly interesting is going on, so the only way that you can tell she's feeling anything is from the dialogue in the scene. If we want to do something more dramatic, let's try lighting from the back. So what we'll do is we'll change the direction of the light to this way. And we'll get rid of our previous shade condition, set up another one. And instead of painting in, I'm going to erase stuff. Now with a lot of these shading examples, a lot of it is about feel. So we're going to paint in this backlight in here. And sometimes you put in things that don't exist in reality just because they look cool. So like these rim lights probably wouldn't be as high as they are in here. I'm cutting this out. Like this area here probably wouldn't have this much light in it, but it adds to the effect, adds to the drama of the effect that we're going for. So that's why I'm putting it in here. Also, the area around the chin probably wouldn't have this much light, but again, we're just going for effect here. Unless you're going for a super accurate realism and unless your style is extremely literal, you can get away with some of this more cheating stuff in here. Add in a highlight there. So this is a much more dramatic situation than our basic top-down stuff. And even though Millie has sort of like a neutral expression, you can tell that this is sort of a dramatic scene. Like maybe she's resigned herself to the end of the world or something like that, or maybe she's lost her favorite monster pet and is resigned to herself, or as resigned to, you know, letting it go and moving on and finding something else. But we know that this lighting situation gives us a little more to work with than the previous one, and it's not entirely dependent on the facial expression. This one is much more interesting for the viewer, for the reader, or whatever you're doing this for. So let's try another lighting situation. How about we move the light down, oops, down here, and this is another situation where it's easier to erase than to paint in. So we'll tone our Millie first, and then we're lighting from the bottom. So everything that you would do from the top down, you kind of do the opposite. And again, some of this isn't completely accurate to what it would be in reality, but we don't always care because cell shading is about creating the illusion of depth or the illusion of mood. So we're hitting all the lower bits with an underlight. Like this part here would probably be blocked by the rest of her head, but it adds to the effect. Dun, 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 dun. Sometimes the line art doesn't give you enough information, so sometimes it's okay to paint in extra wrinkles or extra folds or extra stuff in using the shading just to round objects out a little bit more. Ultimately, whatever looks cool is what you should do. But it's always good to have some kind of foundation to work off of, so it's not just looking at cool stuff. So this is a very dramatic lighting situation that we find often in horror movies. Maybe in this type of situation, Millie is looking at something really shiny like a mystical orb or like a monster egg that's glowing. Or maybe she's evil and plotting evil things. And even though she's smiling, it could be like an evil smile. So this is another situation where the lighting is giving us more information than her expression is. And this is something that you can use to your advantage when you're just trying to create a mood simply. That doesn't look so great, adding wrinkles. I thought I might do that, but nah, we won't do that. All right, so those are some basic ideas about how mood and lighting how you can use cell shading to affect the mood of your scene. We're not going to do any color today. We're going to hold off until next time when we'll do some more fancy things with cell shading. Still only using one cut, one shade tone instead of multiple tones. You can get a lot out of it. So you can change the mood. You can make a scene happy, you can make a scene sad, you can make a scene spooky or dramatic. And all you have to do is just change the direction of the light and change the way you shade things, and you can really bump up your expressions. So if Millie was frowning, this might be much more dramatic of a scene. So I think that's going to do it for now. I don't want to take too much more time with this. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned next time when we will do some more advanced things with Millie. We'll use some color, and I'll show you some fun tips and tricks you can do to continue to get a lot of good information out of just one cell shade. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.